Hi, Nathan Tannenbaum, proud to welcome you to the championship round of the 26th Annual Nevada Science Bowl. Now, we've got the best and the brightest high school students competing for cash prizes for their schools and an all-expenses-paid trip to the Department of Energy's National Science Bowl in Washington, D.C. later this year. The first place team will win $5,000 for their school's math or science department. Our two finalists have emerged from an entire day of really tough head-to-head competition. Let's go ahead and meet our team members. And students, as you introduce yourselves, we're going to have you test your buzzers. Tell us your name, your grade, and just for fun for you folks at home, we asked the kids a silly question to kind of loosen them up as they're getting ready to compete. So your name, your grade, and your favorite sushi menu item, if you have one. I'm Nathan Tannenbaum, your moderator, and let's try position A1. Your name, your grade, and your favorite sushi item, if you have one.
My name is Jay Desai. I go to Clark High School. I'm a junior there, and I don't eat sushi.
Yeah, me neither. A captain.
My name is Ashish. I'm a sophomore, and my favorite sushi is tempura shrimp.
Oh, excellent. A2.
I'm Jeff. I'm in 10th grade, and I don't really have any sushi favorite.
That's fine. And A3.
I'm Ishan. I'm a freshman, and I've never tried sushi.
Well, someday you'll have to give it a try, Ishan. Now, that is the team from Clark High School. And we move up to B1. Your name, your grade, and your favorite sushi item, if you have one.
My name is Reno Kumar. I am a senior, and I also do not normally eat sushi.
Yeah, me neither. I wasn't sure if this question would go anywhere, but we're just going to go with it. B captain.
Hi, Nate. My name is Paulo Adahar. I'm a senior at the Davidson Academy. And because I don't eat sushi, my favorite sushi menu item is gyoza.
Oh, well, very good. And B2.
Hi, my name is Eric Liu. I'm a senior at the Davidson Academy, and my favorite sushi item is probably salmon.
Oh, okay. And B3.
Hi, I'm Ian O, senior at the Davidson Academy, and my favorite sushi menu item is mackerel.
Mackerel, very good. So our other team tonight in the championship round is from the Davidson Academy of Nevada up in Reno. So we've got a great match ahead of us, but before we get going, we have some more people that we want to recognize. The folks who really help with the Nevada Science Bowl. We have a lot of people that you don't see behind the scenes. There are timekeepers, there are scientific judges. There are a lot of folks who are doing what I've done all day long. This is the moderator position. They've been in classrooms here at Vegas PBS and a lot more other volunteers. Now, none of this would have been possible without our generous sponsors, and we're going to have a shout out to them for some special recognition later in the program. Also, we want to recognize the teachers and the coaches of these students who bring their teams to the Nevada Science Bowl. Real quickly, it's a kind of a simple rules and format. There's an 8-minute round of questions and answers. We'll take a 2-minute break, then a final 8-minute round. The championship round of the 2017 Nevada Science Bowl begins after I read this first question, which is a toss-up for both teams. It is chemistry is your category and multiple choice question. An alkyne is added to a reaction vessel containing pressurized hydrogen gas and a catalyst consisting of palladium poisoned by traces of lead-2 ions and quinoline. Which of the following is the major product of this reaction? W, alkane, X, cisalkene, Y, transalkene, Z, alcohol. That is A, captain.
W?
W is incorrect. B, 3.
Y.
Y is incorrect. The answer was X, cisalkene. So we have a toss-up. It is for both teams. Biology is your category. This is a short answer question. What protein hormone missing in obese mice with mutations in the OB gene? Which protein is responsible for controlling satiety? A1.
Ghrelin?
Incorrect. B3.
Leptin.
Leptin is correct. Here now is a bonus question. It is for Team B only. The category is biology. It's a short answer question. When fasting, the liver will convert amino acids to glucose. What's the name of this process? You have 20 seconds.
I think it's gluconeogenesis.
Gluconeogenesis. We're turning it into the glucose from the aminos.
That could be incorrect, but yeah,
You want to go
that.
ahead?
Yeah, go with that.
Gluconeogenesis?
Yes, indeed.
Gluconeogenesis.
That is correct. You've got bonus points. Now a toss-up for both teams. Energy is the category. It's a multiple choice question. Which of the following percentages is closest to the level of engine efficiency in a modern gasoline-burning automobile? W, 10%, X, 25%, Y, 50%, Z, 90%. B, 1.
X.
X is correct. Here's a bonus question. It is for Team B only. Energy is your category, a multiple choice question. A family in Phoenix is considering installing a photovoltaic system on their house. Which of the following roof orientations and inclined angles relative to horizontal is best to install the panels? W, west facing at 30 degrees. X, south facing at 30 degrees. Y, south facing at 0 degrees. Z, east facing at 0 degrees. You have 20 seconds.
So W or X.
Wait. Why don't you think it's? Doesn't it definitely south?
Oh wait, so
We're-
0 degrees.
We're in Phoenix, right?
inclination?
Yeah, 0-degree inclination. That wouldn't get maximum, right?
Yeah, so would you say X then?
X.
I think it's X or Y.
X or Y, okay.
Or wait.
Let's go with the instinct after that.
What are you thinking?
Go with X.
Captain.
X.
X is correct. You've got bonus points. Now a toss-up for both teams. Physics is your category. This is a short answer question. A Wheatstone bridge is used to measure what property? And that is B, Captain.
Resistance.
Yes. Here is a bonus question. It's for Team B only. Physics is your category. Short answer question. Using the harmonic oscillator model and assuming the force constant is unchanged between the two molecules, what's the ratio of the fundamental vibrational frequency of hydrogen to that of deuterium? You have 20 seconds.
Okay, that means that deuterium means that we double it, right?
Yeah,
We
you double
the
it.
mass.
Yeah, it's when you
Okay,
use
so we
an
double the
extra
mass. So we're H1 to H2.
Yeah.
Isn't our formula root K over M?
Yes.
Yeah.
So then it would be
Root 2?
root 2 to 1.
Root 2 to 1? Okay, so that makes sense.
Root 2 to 1.
That is correct, and you've got bonus points. Now a toss-up for both teams. Math is your category, a short answer question. Given f inverse of x equals 2 minus x, what is fx? B, Captain.
X plus 2.
That is incorrect. A, Captain.
X minus 2?
No, it is 2 minus x. Now a toss-up for both teams. The category Earth and Space, it's a multiple choice question. What radioactive element was produced during nuclear weapons testing in the mid-1900s and is commonly used by oceanographers to date the age of water masses, but will decay to normal background levels in the coming decades? W, carbon-14. X, radon-222. Y, uranium-238. Z, tritium. That is A2.
X.
X is incorrect. B3.
Z.
Z is correct. So here's a bonus question. It is for Team B only. Earth and Space is your category. It is a multiple choice question. The key glacier structure formed through annual layering of ice through cycles of melting and snowfall is called what? W, ogives. X, primary stratification. Y, longitudinal foliation. Z, transverse crevices.
I want to say
You have 20 seconds.
Ogives are the dark and light bands that you form,
Yeah.
so I don't think it's that. So
primary stratification through the multiple layers of the glacier.
That makes
that's
sense.
seen-
Yeah.
that seems
I'm
legitimate.
thinking X.
Longitudinal foliation, and what was the again? Trans something?
Z is
Trans something.
Go ahead.
Captain?
Yeah, X.
X.
X is correct. You've got bonus points. Now a toss-up for both teams. Energy is your category. This is a multiple choice question. Why is solar power underutilized in American households? W, it increases the price of a home by about 5 to 10%. X, North America is mostly cloudy. Y, solar technology is currently not very effective. Z, solar cells are not effective in cold climates. That is B, Captain.
X.
X is incorrect. A, Captain.
W?
W is correct. So we have a bonus question. It is for Team A only. Energy is your category. It is a multiple choice question. Nanolithography is a current research interest at Lawrence Livermore National Lab. So which of the following correctly describes nanolithography? W, the study of fluids confined to nanoscale structures. X, usage of nanoparticles as medical technology. Y, depositing residues thinner than 100 nanometers onto surfaces. Z, fabricating structures smaller than 100 nanometers. You have 20 seconds.
I think it's Y. I think it's Y.
You think it's Y? Okay. Y?
Y is incorrect. The answer is Z, fabricating structures smaller than 100 nanometers. So no bonus points, and this toss-up for both teams. Chemistry is the category. It is a multiple choice question. Which of the following methods is least helpful in identifying chiral isomers? W, X-ray diffraction. Y, quadrupole mass spectrometry. Y, nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. Z, Raman spectroscopy. A, Captain.
X.
X is correct. Here's a bonus question. It's for Team A only. Chemistry is your category. Short answer question. Identify all of the following three statements that are true of a mixture of 96% ethanol and 4% water. 1. The boiling point of the mixture is greater than that of either pure ethanol or pure water. 2. The components can be separated by fractional distillation. 3. The mixture deviates from Raoult's law. You have 20 seconds.
We're definitely correct.
One is
Yeah,
not correct, right?
1 and 2 are correct.
Ishan says
Wait,
one.
okay.
Two
I
is
feel like
definitely
one
correct.
isn't correct. How can it be larger?
Which one was 1?
No, it's
No, it's not one. It's not one.
two. Two. I don't know what three, but two. Should I just say two?
Yeah.
2.
That is incorrect. The answer was 3. No bonus points. A toss-up now for both teams. Earth and space is your category. This is a multiple choice question. Kepler's third law of planetary motion relates what two parameters? And that is B, Captain.
Radius and period.
That is incorrect, and that is an interrupt with a point deduction. I'll reread the question in its entirety now for Team A only. Earth and space, the category, multiple choice. Kepler's third law of planetary motion relates what two parameters of the orbiting body? W, solar radiation and distance. X, orbital period and semi-major axis. Y, orbital eccentricity and solar mass. Z, solar mass and mass of orbiting body. That is A1.
X.
X is correct. Now a bonus question. It's for Team A only. Earth and space is your category, a multiple choice question. Magnetite, pyrite, and galena are mineral examples of which of the following crystal system types? W, tetragonal. X, cubic. Y, triclinic. Z, orthorhombic. You have 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I think
See?
it's
We have time though. We have time though. See, I'm pretty sure it's C, but it might be triclinic.
Let's go with Z since you're pretty sure of it. Z.
Z is incorrect. The answer X, cubic. So we've come to halftime, and now let's find out just exactly how these two teams got here today.
The second half of the 2017 Nevada Science Bowl is about to get underway. But first, let's take a look at how our two competing teams got to this championship match. The Nevada Science Bowl, Nevada's premier academic competition, begins Friday night with registration held this year at the National Atomic Testing Museum in Las Vegas. Teams of students pick up name badges and goodie bags. Nevada Science Bowl volunteers are there every step of the way. There's time for team photos, making new friends, and grabbing a bite to eat. It's not all about smarts at Science Bowl. There's swing and salsa too, as students, teams, and coaches try to match their moves with the Nevada Science Bowl GoBot. Then it's down to business. Science Bowl officials review the rules with all the team members, and then there's the mock competition, so students can be ready for the real thing. The academic competition starts bright and early on Saturday morning with the best and brightest from Nevada, Utah, and California squaring off in head-to-head matches. Tough questions in math and the sciences test the minds of the students. The top 12 teams win cash prizes for use in their school's math or science department. In the final match, an all-expenses-paid trip to Washington, D.C. for the Department of Energy's National Science Bowl is also at stake. Supporting these super smart students are dozens of volunteers who donate their time to organize and staff the Nevada Science Bowl. Terrific sponsors like the National Nuclear Security Administration Nevada Field Office, National Security Technologies, Northrop Grumman, Vegas PBS, Navarro, and Centerra Nevada all donate funds and services to support this outstanding educational event, the Nevada Science Bowl. One by one, 32 teams advance or face elimination. Finally, it all comes down to the final two teams squaring off to determine the 2017 Nevada Science Bowl champion.
So at the end of the first half, here's your score. The Davidson Academy of Nevada from up in Reno has 56 points to Clark's 16 points, but anything can happen in the second half. Before we begin our second half, we have a couple of new players we'd like you to meet. And as we did before, students, we'll ask you to do your buzzer, tell us your name, your grade, and if you have a favorite sushi menu item, please by all means enlighten us. And we'll start here with row A. A3.
My name is Alex Bean. I'm a freshman from Clark High School. For my favorite sushi, I'm going to say California roll.
Oh, the California roll. Sure, you can't go wrong with that. Come on. And B1.
I'm Matt Bauer. I'm a junior, and I don't really have a favorite item.
Yeah, no, I'm not a big sushi person myself. I think we're going to drop that question in future Science Bowls. All right, so we're ready to begin the second half of this round, and we have 8 minutes on the clock. Time starts as I complete this first question, which is the category Math, a short answer question. Consider a bag of 7 marbles, 5 red, 2 white. You draw marbles from the bag until you draw the last white marble, at which point you stop. So what is the probability that you stop drawing after the second marble is selected? A, Captain.
1/21.
That is correct. Now a bonus question for Team A only. The category is Math, a short answer question. For arithmetic sequences with first term 7 and fourth term 19, what is the sum of the first 50 terms? You have 20 seconds.
4. Wait, are you sure?
210. How many terms?
I think it's 5,250. 5,250?
That is correct. You've got bonus points. Now this toss-up for both teams. Physics, the category. It is a multiple choice question. The photoelectric effect reveals what property of photons? W, wave-like nature. X, particle-like nature. Y, wave-particle duality. And that is B2.
W.
That is incorrect, and that is an interrupt with a point deduction. I'll reread the question in its entirety now for Team A only. Physics, the category, multiple choice. The photoelectric effect reveals what property of photons? W, wave-like nature. X, particle-like nature. Y, wave-particle duality. Z, masslessness. A1.
Z?
Z is incorrect. The answer X, particle-like nature. Now a toss-up for both teams. Biology is your category, and this is a short answer question. Identify all of the following 3 genera of bacteria that are gram-positive. 1, Escherichia. 2, Salmonella. 3, Vibrio. And that is B2.
3 only.
That is incorrect. A1.
1 and 2?
That is incorrect. The answer was none of the above. Now we move to a toss-up for both teams. The category is Math. It is a short answer question. What's the absolute value of the complex conjugate of -4 plus 5? And that is B, Captain.
Square root of 41.
That is correct. Now a bonus question for Team B only. Math is your category, short answer question. What's the limit as x approaches 3 of the fraction with numerator x to the 6th power minus 81 and denominator x cubed minus 9? You have 20 seconds.
Okay. So we plug that in, we get 3 to the 6 is 200. Wait, x to the 6 minus 81?
Yep.
That gives 729 minus 81 divided by 27 divided by 9. That is 8 times 81 over...
Captain?
36.
36.
That is correct. You've got bonus points. Now this toss-up for both teams. Physics, your category, and a multiple choice question. A 70-kilogram student is walking at 1 meter per second. Which of the following is closest to her de Broglie wavelength in meters? W, 10 to the negative 34th. X, 10 to the negative 35th. Y, 10 to the negative 36th. Z, 10 to the negative 37th. B, Captain.
X.
X is correct. It's a bonus question now for Team B only. Physics is your category, and it's a short answer question. Einstein won the Nobel Prize in Physics for his description of what phenomenon? You have 20 seconds.
The photoelectric effect.
That is correct, and you got bonus points. So we move to a toss-up question for both teams. Chemistry is the category. It is a short answer question. Porphyrin is chelating ligand, is a chelating ligand. How many bonds can it form to a metal center? A, Captain.
6.
That is incorrect. B, 3.
4.
4 is correct. And you've got this bonus question for Team B only. Chemistry is your category, a short answer question. Rank the following 4 compounds in terms of increasing net dipole moment. 1, carbon dioxide. 2, hydrogen chloride. 3, hydrogen fluoride. 4, carbon monoxide. You have 20 seconds.
In increasing dipole.
So
CO2 doesn't have one, right? So CO2 goes.
CO2.
So it goes 1, 4, 2, 3.
Yes.
1, 4, 2.
1,
Yeah,
4,
yeah, that's
Yes.
3, 3. Okay, so CO2, COH, ClH.
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 4, 2, 3. 1, 4, 2, 3.
That is correct. You've got bonus points. And a toss-up now for both teams. Biology, the category, a short answer question. What second messenger is produced by adenylyl cyclase? A1.
Cyclic amp.
That is correct. And a bonus question now for Team A only. Biology, the category, a short answer question. In a signaling pathway, a certain step requires the removal of a phosphate group from a protein. What general type of enzyme would perform this reaction? You have 20 seconds.
ATP, right? So it'd be no, ATP reductase or something. I don't know. Yeah. With general, did you ask general class? General type, yeah. Reductase then? Just go reductase. Reductase?
Incorrect. We're looking for phosphatase. No bonus points. This toss-up now for both teams. Energy is the category. It's a multiple choice question. Researchers are using the Argonne Leadership Computing Facility to design and model peptide therapeutics. Which of the following is not a challenge associated with peptide therapeutics? W, they're difficult to deliver. X, they have poor specificity. Y, they have poor cell penetration. Z, they are degraded in the circulatory system. A1.
Z.
Z is incorrect. B2.
X.
X is correct, and you've got this bonus question for Team B only. Energy is the category, a multiple choice question. Researchers at Lawrence Livermore National Lab are studying the conditions under which planet formations occur by doing which of the following? W, determining the melting point of silica at gigapascal pressures. X, determining the melting point of silica in ultra-high vacuum. Y, determining the boiling point of silica at gigapascal pressures. And that Z, determining the boiling point of alumina at gigapascal
It
pressures.
probably won't be boiling, right?
20 seconds.
And I doubt that it would be at high pressures. It would be like in a vacuum because we're space, right? So probably X, right?
I don't know.
No, wait.
Go with X.
Maybe W. I don't know.
Say X.
I don't think that it would be at high pressures.
Yeah, because
it's
it's
the
the
core,
collision.
right?
Yeah.
We'll go with W.
W.
W is correct. You've got bonus points. A toss-up now for both teams. Earth and space is your category. It's a short answer question. How many planes of cleavage does a biotite possess? B, Captain.
3.
Incorrect. A, Captain.
4.
Incorrect. The answer, 1. Next question is a toss-up for both teams. Chemistry is the category, a short answer question. Acetylene has a pKa of 25, while hydroxide ions have a pKa of about 16. Expressing your answer to the nearest power of 10, if they were mixed in equimolar amounts, 1 in how many molecules of acetylene would be deprotonated? And that is A, Captain.
10 to the 9th?
That is correct. Now a bonus question for Team A only. And chemistry is your category. It's a short answer question. How many unpaired electrons does high spin, open bracket, CO F6, close bracket, to the 3 negative have? That's 20 seconds.
3?
That is incorrect. The answer is 4. No bonus points. Now this toss-up for both teams. Well, we're out of time, so let's find out who won. Well, the final score, the Davidson Academy of Nevada from Reno with 112 to Clark's 42. So congratulations to our champions from the Davidson Academy of Nevada up in Reno. Let's give them a round of applause. But here is our second place team for the 2017 Science Bowl. Clark High School receiving a check for $2,500 for their school's math and science programs. The trophy and the players and their coach, Chuck Bean. Congratulations, you guys did a great job. And our first place team gets a check for $5,000 for their school's math and science program and the trophy. And they are going to Washington, D.C. to compete in the National Science Bowl with their coach, Brett Giusti. Congratulations to the Davidson Academy of Nevada from Reno. Great job, you guys. And we thank you for tuning in to the 2017 Nevada Science Bowl. We hope to see you next year for the 2018 Nevada Science Bowl right here on Vegas PBS. Thanks for watching and good night. Awesome. Awesome.